Hello, everybody. Today is our first video tutorial. This is chapter 2, part 1. So I'm going to show you briefly how you can use Statcrunch in all your assignments, homework, quizzes, practice tests, and all the assignments that are due online. Okay, so here we have a problem. National survey asks people, how often do you eat out for dinner instead of at home? The frequencies were as follows. So here we have the left side of the video here on the page. You see the responses from all the people that were part of the survey. Never, say they never eat outside, 415 of them, rarely 486 of them, sometimes 975, most of the time 523, and always 54. So if you notice, they've given me a frequency table. Now they want me to complete part A through G. So this is part A right here. If you notice, they want us to find the relative frequency distribution. So this you studied in class. You can do it by hand if you like to. The frequency distribution is, for instance, for never, it's 415 divided by the sum of all the frequencies here. Okay, you can do that by hand if you like. However, today I'm going to show you how you can do it through Statcrunch, and I highly recommend that you do so as well. So if you notice, there's a small little rectangle in here. You can click on it, and then it tells you open Statcrunch. So you click on that. Okay, and here what we have is the same table as I have here. And then response to frequency. Please click on somewhere else outside the table. That's what we're going to be doing here. Okay, and now we're going to find the relative frequency. So we want the relative frequency table. You go to graph. Okay, we are dealing with qualitative data. We're talking about responses. So we need to go to bar graph. Okay, so in the bar graph, you have two options, data with data or with summary. If you notice here, we have a table. And here, that is not data, that's not raw data that you've seen in class. It's with summary. So you have to select with summary. Okay. And then you have to fill out these all these parts of this, the problem here, the bar plot. This is a bar plot with summary. So the categories, we have the category is a response. The never category, rarely, sometimes, most of the time, always. So the category is a response. The count is where? The count is where, sometimes I'm going to have to move it out, move it to the side. The count is in frequency. This is where we have all the counts. So you click on that. Okay. Now they want, this is a frequency. They want us to find relative frequency. So if you go to type here, it says frequency. So you select relative frequency. You click on that. Okay. And that is it for you. You can go ahead and compute it. And here are all your information. Now, if you notice, you've seen the bar graph. However, you do not see the number like we had here. Okay, we need to have the number. And remember, it's a relative frequency, so it's between 0 and 1. Okay, so since I don't have it, you can read it from the book if you like. However, it's not very clear sometimes. So what you do is you go back to the previous page in there. So you click on options and you select edit. You do this every time you want to make a change here. And if you notice, there is here, it says a display value above bar. So click on that. If you do, then you have all the values above the bar. these are represent the relative frequency. If you notice, all of them are between 0 and 1. And if you take a look at the relative frequency here, we no longer have counts. We have relative frequency between 0 and, in this case, between 0 and 4, because the largest one is 0.397. And here we have our relative frequency. But if you notice, let's compare it to the one that they gave us. If you notice that this is not in order as we have it here. Here we have never, rarely, sometimes, most of the time, always. Here we have always, most of the time, and so on. So they're not the same order as in the problem. But you can still use this. You can still write this down. So I'm gonna. You can still enter these values right here, but the problem is you're gonna have to look. You have to make sure you're in the right category. So there always is 0.022. So, you know, I'm going to make sure I write it here, not to mix it up with other category. So you have to be careful about that. Or there's another option. You can put here the bars in the same order as we have it here. If you go back to the options here, click on edit, you can order, here they're saying by value ascending, you can order as in the worksheet, as we have it here. So if you click on the worksheet and you click compute, you notice now they're the same order I have here. So never is the first choice, rarely, sometimes, most of the time, and always. Now it has the same order as we have it in our problem. So these are the values. So this is my example. You're gonna have different problem with different numbers. So you're gonna have to write them down or copy them. That's what I'm gonna be doing now. I'm gonna go ahead and copy them to show you. So how this is done. So I prefer to write them down right now, because once I go back in here, I lose this graph. You don't actually lose it, you can retrieve it, but it's a good idea to have it all written down. So let me go ahead and move it over. So once I click on this, this would be gone. I have 0.169. Okay, so 0.169. 0.198, sometimes 0.397. Again, different people are going to have, different students are going to have different problems, different answers. So this is my relative frequency. Let's check the answer. Okay, so we got the first problem right here. And this is the way you start with Statcrunch, and will help you with B and C. They're asking me what percentage of responded answered always. Okay, remember the percentage. You can change the relative into percentage by multiplying by 100%. But moving the decimal point 2 digits to the right. So let's take a look. Always. This is the last one, isn't it? Here. So move the digit, the decimal to the right 2 digits. So 1, 2. That gives me 2.2%. So 2.2% of the respondent answered yes, or answered always about eating out for dinner. So let's check the answer. Okay, there it is. So again, relative frequency, you can turn it into percentage. by moving the decimal digits two digits to the right. What percentage of respondents answered never or rarely? Never or rarely. So I have 0.169, 0.198. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding those values and then writing them in decimal form. So I have the answer, the sum of never and rarely is 0.169 and 0.198, and that gives me 0.367. The sum of these two is 0.367. That gives me in decimal form 36.7. Okay, so here is a little bit of practice with a Statcrunch. I'm going to come back again and I'm going to be doing more problems from chapter 2. So make sure you subscribe for the channel so you see the other videos. And if you have any comments, please write them down in the comment below. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. Okay, have a good day, everybody. See you next video. Bye-bye.